classroom means having everyone doing it, not simply those that are willing. Do not let students hide. Quoted from Andrew Peach from the book Trivium and Practice. It is the art of dialectic that puts questioning, reasoning, critical thinking, and logic at the heart of the tribune. These are all essential attributes of a great education, and to be able to do it well can help ensure that young people perform well, academically and then socially. It is not enough for schools just to teach knowledge. Knowledge is the base of great thinking, but without the practice of using knowledge to challenge and rise to the occasion when challenged, an academic education falters. Argument is the key to thinking well. Class debate should be a feature of excellent schools, and we are parting New Panay Senior High School, isn't it? Today marks a significant part to witness these young brilliant senior high school students who will be challenged to think clearly and defend their attack an idea to what it means to them and the society of which they are a part. I would go so far as to say by grappling with the playfulness of ideas. In this way, they will in turn become more engaged with the current issue entitled The Declaration of President Duterte of Martial Law in Mindanao. But before that, let us all stand for a break.
Sana mapulis ito'y unang na malubos. Nais kong buhay sa mundong pagkaganda. Na dinadakila'y pangalan mo tuwina. Ikaw na ang bahala sa amin naman. Sa mga araw na darating pa, kailangan namin ay mapagpalaan mo sana. Ikaw ay nagignaban ng pag-asa. Ikaw na ang bahala sa amin naman. At sa mga araw na darating pa, aming sa'yo lamang ibig ng tawa. Sa bawat sandali, ikaw na.
Without further ado, may I introduce first myself, Florian Basa, acting as the arbiter of this activity. This time, may I introduce to you the composition of the two teams, the proposition and the opposition. On the proposition side, who will be defending a favorable standpoint are the following: Mr. Kenche Tolentino, Ms. Christine Joy Bugador, Ms. Kimberly J. Mendoza, Mr. Erwin Remedio, Ms. Christine Esquilla, and Ms. Jennifer Palma. On the opposition team, who will be refuting the negative side of the issue, will be composed of the following: Ms. April Rose Iba, Ms. Charlotte Puputi, Mr. Romel Tabigoon, Mr. Kate Canton, Mr. Spain Caligao, and Ms. Celine Caligao. There will be selected audience to raise questions for our debaters. Timekeeper in charge is Ms. Jamaica Gonzalodo, and Ms. coverage will be done by Mr. Aldrin Macman and Ms. Talente Quijada. We are also grateful to the presence of our brilliant teachers, starting with our subject teacher in practical research, Mr. Melvin Garcia, Master Teacher 1, Ms. Judith Luis, Teacher 3, Ms. Yellow Diaz, Teacher 2, and our very supportive and dynamic school principal, Mr. Christine O'Neill. Dear friends and spectators, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to everyone. Welcome to our class debate. The reading of the class rules, debate etiquette, and debate structure will be read to you by our teacher, Mr. Melvin Garcia.
morning. Good morning. So welcome to our class debate. And these are the rules for the classroom debate. Each group is to agree to six significant points of argument: the pro position and the opposition team. One person speaks at a time, no side discussions. All comments must be addressed and previous student comments directly. You may not simply ignore a comment and shifts the arguments to an unrelated point. Each person will credit the source of any statistics or quotation or survey of research information at the time that source is mentioned during the debate. Debate etiquette. Team members must meet together in preparation of the debate and they have to practice. All members of each side must participate in the debate. Do not read entirely your notes, but only glance in some instances. Use proper language in referring to your opposing team, and the pro team should write the topic on the board or before the class begins, listing the names of each debater. So the structure for the classroom debate is shown in the PowerPoint slide. So each debate consists of 2 parts, 16 minutes for the first three speakers, 5 minutes for the audience to ask a question, and 3 minutes for the concluding remarks of the rebuttal portion. So once again, good luck speakers, and
Now ready to witness the match between these selected brilliant debaters?
Yes!
It will be simultaneously done for a 2-part debate proper. Then, let's now get the ball rolling. Let's begin with the proposition team, starting with Mr. Tanjay Tolentino.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our panel of judges, especially to my co-debaters. Martial law will bring total and safety protection in Mindanao. Am I right? Yes. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has declared martial law for 60 days. After clashes between the militants, like what we call ISIS, President Rodrigo Duterte cited as the motive for declaring martial law and suspending the habeas corpus in Mindanao through Proclamation 216. When President Rodrigo Duterte implemented the martial law in Mindanao, our community got a very high security in terms of terror attack. The President said, I might declare martial law throughout the country to protect people. Martial law is not all about military, police, or SAF, or other forces of the Philippines. It's all about us, our security. Martial law is a great method to eliminate those crimes and other dark activities around us because of the different ordinances implemented, like curfew hours during night time. People could not go outside because of that ordinance. The crime at night are decreases. So we need martial law to protect us, to guide us, to be secure, and to protect us from the different kind of terror attack or other crimes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Tolentino. My question is, how will you assure that there will be an equal benefits of security treatment among military personnel, and there will be not irregularities or lapses of responsibilities?
Duterte and Marcos is different from each other. Martial law now and martial law in the past are different. So, don't judge our presidents by comparing in the past, but judge him by his doing.
Thank you, very well said. But I have a second question. How will Marshall be certain that peace and order will be promoted with imposition of stricter military presence, thus creating fear among people instead?
The military will not bias in terms of security because there is a strict monitoring between, and they can't do what happened in the past and martial law during Marcos time. Because our president now is different from Marcos.
As she said, I against with the martial law. From the day that the martial law was declared, we became afraid in a lot of things. We became more aware in our safety and security that might be interrupted by this martial law crisis in our country. We become more open to terrorists, local or foreign terrorists. Because of the martial law, the interest of the people and the government is in the Mindanao, and the focus of our defense forces is in the Mindanao as well. They might take it as an advantage or as anti-diversionary tactic to attack those low-secured places that might lead us to a greater distraction or eventually increased bleeding. The President Rodrigo Duterte is just eager to proclaim martial law. He did not think an alternative way or a less brutal way than martial law to solve this problem. Now that the martial law is still going on, and the fact that the Mauti is not just Mauti, but held with the international terrorist named ISIS, I am afraid of still what more will happen to the people in the Marawi and to our safety and security as martial law goes on. Martial law is not the solution. It is the problem. Martial law.
Declaration of President Marcos is not the scene of today's, is it?
Is it?
President Rodrigo Duterte's declaration of martial law defines supreme power to ensure security of this very eminent problem, terrorism. How can you say that martial law is not the solution?
Well, thank you, Ms. Bukador. Well, martial law is not the solution. If you just listen like what I've said, martial law is the problem. Martial law can be solved in a democratic way, in a peace talk, in a less brutal way. If just the government gives time to talk to this Mauti, it will not lead to this problem. Martial law is a very alarming and horrifying as we already suffered this in our past government. And to your martial law, historically speaking, things, and I'm sorry to tell you this. And I'm sorry for my impoliteness to tell you this. Have you read Mr. Duterte's mind? Or have you had a conversation? How sure are you that he would not do what President Marcos did before? And the fact that President Duterte is let President Marcos buried in the Heroes Cemetery, and the fact that President Duterte idolized this dictator president. Now tell me, how can you ensure our safety and the safety of 100 billion people by this martial law?
Hey, Miss Siva, I respect your answer, but President Marcos is already dead. We should focus on our present president, President Rodrigo Duterte. So let us forget the past. Because if we will continue to recall the past, we can make the changes we want.
Thank you, Ms. Bugador, for your very nice point. But yes, I will already move on. Martial law is not just a simple thing. It is powerful. And our safety is not a simple thing as well. And I do believe in saying that history repeats itself. Do you have any question?
Yes, of course. But how will you assure that the terrorist group
will not do activities to destroy us when without martial law exists.
Actually, it's a matter of thought. If the president have time to have peace talk with this terrorist, it will not lead to this problem. The Maori is just eager to do things like attacking Marawi because they think that the president ignored them.
Good morning. As one of the opposition group, martial law declaration of President Duterte provides a positive impact on the economy of the country in general. Although literally speaking, Marawi City has been devastated due to the latest terrorist attack. But let us consider the big picture of benefits we can acquire on this matter. Because of martial law, there will be a declaration of peace in order. So we can gain trust and confidence on both local and foreign investors. Likewise, we establish that the safety and security arise is not compromised. It would also mean a strong statement of support to eradicate illegal drugs in Marawi, which was possible on the factors of natural political issues. Nevertheless, it will refrain from summary feelings involved. In the case will be our human properties. Development and empowerment of our country does not depend on the structural development, but requiring more on eco stability among the constituents, among the Filipinos.
This book you have established a good relationship between investors and the government capacity to protect them. So, how will you protect them if you have already manpower issues or lack of security personnel?
Thank you, Ms. Magandi. The AFP and PNP is still now recruiting individuals and undergo them on training. So, in training to fulfill in the adequacy, so there's no need to problem anymore.
Morning once again. Yes, Ms. Pugador, I acknowledge your standpoints, but I'm really against declaring martial law because it will ruin the economic stability of our country. We all know that city of Marawi is one of the highly organized cities in our country. Mostly of them are merchants' family. They're one of the great contributors to our taxes. So, declaration of martial law is under control by President Rodrigo Duterte administration. People can't move freely on their own. Many tourist spotters can reset our spots easily and anytime they want. Many foreign investors also can invest aggressively in our country. So, therefore, declaration of martial law was a great and really great impact in decreasing and destructing stability of our economy.
So, Ms. Matulin, you have said that martial law destroyed the economic stability and the business training. So, you're concerned only with the business, and what about the welfare of the people?
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. So you're asking that I'm only concerning in the business and not in the welfare of them, right? Well, absolutely yes, because money runs out our life. So in order to have a
So, good morning once again. bagong education. It educates students and children. It has a good and beneficial purpose for students and children to enable them to know their limitation and self-control. Our new implemented martial law is really different than before. Declaring martial law is no bad attention to them. This is just a kind of discipline and showing that we are controlled by the government and not by the terrorists. So, we must be thankful for our President Rodrigo Duterte, for declaring martial law here in Mindanao. Because militaries do their best, even they risk their lives for the sake of the civilians. So, we must support our President Rodrigo Duterte, to have a strong foundation and to be in the good hand with military and to have a public safety and peaceful.
Why martial law should be implemented and not just promote peace in Mindanao?
Martial law should be implemented and not just promote peace. Enable us to have a control and security for the civilian also, and to show that we are in the good hands with the military.
I'm against in the declaration of martial law in Mindanao. First of all, declaration of martial law will not bring good impact in the educational system. Many students decide to stop their education to join the group because some are threatened by the rebel or what we call ISIS group. And some students are obliged to leave the Marawi city for their safety. We don't need to educate students about martial law because when they hear the word martial law, they put in their mind the past experience of their innocent about the martial law declared by our past president. A lot of students are affected by this martial law. Every child deserves to be educated, but where? This opportunity to be educated wasn't assigned because of that martial law. Now, how can I say in agree to martial law that affect the life in the life of our brother and sister around Marawi?
So, tell me, Mr. Tabigo, why do we need a vigilance instead of implementing stricter police presence to ensure the safety of our learning environment?
We need to be vigilant because if there is a police presence in that particular area, there is a possibility of war, and because of that war, there is a possibility of possible government.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed the first part of the debate. We are now going to acknowledge questions coming from our audience. First question will be coming from Ms. Princess Consad, followed by Mr. Dominic Hitiayon and Ms. Clarice Silly.
For Mr. Tabigo, in opposition side, how are you sure that even without martial law, there is an equal opportunity for our learners acquire quality education amidst terror attacks?
Thank you. Thank you for that. A true learner is always a learner no matter what. I think the only thing to do by our government is to give equal assistance to the affected residents. For Miss Christine Joy Bogador.
you are talking about the long range of solution. But people in Marawi wanted an urgent solution to restore their way of life. So why martial law the ultimate solution so far?
Thank you, Miss City Iron. Martial law so far is the ultimate solution because this is our government's another way to control us and so they can move freely and make surplus. This question is for Mr. Tolentino. Mr. Tolentino, why martial law is only declared in Mindanao? Why not the president choose to implement it through office? Does it mean that he was only biased to his homeland?
Is martial law declared in the whole country? If martial law declared in the whole country, the focus is the military is not focus in the terrorism. It should focus in the whole country, the federal countries. The presence of the rebels is not totally different because of the
Thank you guys for this challenging question for our debaters. Moving on, let's witness the continuation of the final part of the debate. This will begin with Mr. Erwin Remilio from the proposition side.
Good morning, everyone. I respect the opinion of our opposition, but I'm so sorry to say this. I'm in favor for the decision of our President Rodrigo Duterte for declaring martial law in Mindanao. In terms of culture and religion, martial law is one of the best ways to promote respect. In the first place, Islam and Christianity are the two religions who have a conflict. Terrorist attack in Marawi City, the Maute group are the reason why our President declared martial law in Mindanao. It reveals that many innocent children are recruited as warriors. Their future become unguaranteed. I must say that the culture of peace and brotherhood must prevail. A true Islam and Christians promote camaraderie. So martial law is the best avenue to promote it. Through martial law, it helps them to change their stance in life. Instead of handing out guns, they have an opportunity to hold paper and ballpen to become more equipped not in guns and styles of killing, but more equipped in knowledge to become a better person. As well as in the religion, each religion, the culture is the identity, or it's based on the culture of each religion is how they treat. In reality, we cannot deny the fact that most cases of killings and terrorist attacks involve the Muslim religion. We really need the martial law to change their stance in life to have a fair and unbiased image in each religion. That's why I'm in favor for the declaring of martial law in Mindanao. It's sad to say, but it's better to sacrifice the life of the present for the future of our next generation. Thank you.
I'm saying, Mr. Emilio, that Muslims and Christians have equal opportunities among martial law.
Absolutely, yes.
So, why martial law becomes a great option to secure the culture of each individual in Mindanao.
As early as we can, we need to move right now. We need to move right now before the stance in the culture of the terrorists become worse. How about the innocent personalities, the victim of terrorism? We really need the martial law before the 100 years of innocent personalities will vanish because of terrorism. Thank you.
So, the creation of martial law in the Philippines is not a remedy to our country, especially those Muslim ethnic groups in the Southern Philippines. The serious possibility of an independent or effectively autonomous Muslim regions. The best in the long run is much in what happens to the rest of the Philippines in the next years. So, as a matter of fact, I'm against this declaration because it will not promote the culture in the region as an important factor to achieve equality among the people in the region. We can say that the situation in Mindanao is not much more difficult to solve. The very martial law is not a solution to those problems that they encounter. Diversity of culture and religions that exists in Mindanao. Yet, martial law will not contribute to prosper its system, but further promote the divisiveness among the people. Hence, martial law is not an option in this particular time.
So, Ms. Ganda, you mentioned about diversity. Are you assured that diversity among the people will require in this understanding?
Thank you for the question, Mrs. Julia. No, because it's our choice in how to accept them and how to address them.
Philippines was already known throughout the world as a country that has a high regard on fighting drug cartel through President Duterte, which was also allegedly being linked to extrajudicial killings. As addition to his extraordinary leadership, he recently declared martial law for the entire island of Mindanao. It has a good impact for having a good image to other countries, as other countries also declaring martial law to avoid terrorism and rebellion. Thus, this creates feedback to the leaders of the other countries who positively idolize our president for his bravery. And his strong will proves that no one can defeat the power of government under his administration, even the international terrorists or the ISIS. He deeply stressed that everything under martial law was at a full control of government.
So, you mean, Mrs. Julia, are you considering extrajudicial killing or summary killing under the declaration of martial law as illegal? Why?
Martial law is a law to be followed. And if the military personnel go beyond their limitation, it will become illegal. The forces of terrorists in Marawi is really hard to stop. We cannot deny that some extraordinary or extrajudicial and summary killing are involved. But those terrorists are also involved in the case of rebellion. So we cannot consider it.
Good morning once again. The international image of Philippines under the declaration of martial law in Mindanao is just the international image of Philippines under the declaration of martial law in Mindanao will only justify a country who is not friendly and unwelcoming to foreigners. As the martial law declared in Mindanao, the city of Marawi became known as the scariest city of the Philippines. It affects the international image of Philippines in terms of tourism. There are some foreigners who are afraid to go and visit the Philippines because of the continuous crime happening in the Philippines. And GMA News reported there are some foreigners questioning and asking about the safety of the Philippines. Is the Philippines safe to be set? That are the some questions that until now no one can be sure. Our country has a continuous crucial event happen when President Rodrigo Duterte comes. Then the declaration of martial law in Mindanao that kills the hundreds of people living in Marawi. It makes the Filipinos the whole world as a dreadful and unsafe country. It makes our international image. It makes our international image as a dirty and dreadful one. Because of degree of impact martial law can bring to Mindanao?
The impact or the degree of martial law in Mindanao can bring a dirty name and dreadful name to the international image of Philippines in that
Morning once again. We command and control of a huge population since civil laws and civil rights are suspended. We support President Rodrigo Duterte's May 23 declaration of martial law in Mindanao for 60 days to kill 16 criminals, ensure the national security of our nation and the safety of our people, especially for civilian population. We call on all Filipinos and the international community to support the Philippine government's war against terrorism and extremist groups which target even non-combatants, the civilian population and the community and the industrial property, including places of worship in direct violation of the international humanitarian laws on armed conflict. We salute and support our Philippine troops in their heroic role to fight terrorism in Mindanao. This is the time to support our troops and our government for the secure of our national and territorial integrity of our nation and the safety and security of our people, as well as to demonstrate our resolve that the international terrorism does not flourish. So martial law promoting human rights.
Hello, Ms. Palma. Martial law is the empowerment of police powers and a strong military presence, isn't it?
Yes.
So how can you assume the public that they don't abuse the power that they have?
As an individual that involved in civilian population, I admire the power martial law in Mindanao. It gives us security and safety net against terrorists. Are you asking of abusing their power? Governments can abuse their power. They have the authority to handle us, but they do it in the right way. When someone gets or do wrong, they punish it. But when someone doing good, they give security.
Declaring martial law, human rights will be ignored. Very prone to abuse of power can lead to human rights abuses. Without civil laws to protect them, people have no protection against the abuses of government. Martial law is not the solution for the peace. Instead, it will be a hindrance for a peace that we wanted. There are some ways to protect our country from the terrorists. Martial law can provide a big and bad impact to our country, especially to our human rights, and also to our economy. The first affected of this martial law is the people who are living in the place where the terrorists are attacked. Lack of food and shelter are the first problem of the people who are in the evacuation center, because their sources of needs are destroyed because of this martial law. Our President Rodrigo Duterte only focuses on the terrorists, but he did not think the effect on the people who are affected of this martial law.
So, Ms. Garigao, are you saying that martial law is not the solution to strengthen human rights? Meaning to say you are acknowledging the presence of the rebel terrorists for human rights?
Yes, terrorists who have no moral obligation will be given the right to live, because they also are human that has the right to live in this world.
So if yes, you are acknowledging the presence of the rebels to invade us?
That is not my point. If the terrorist is already in the arm of the government, at this point in time, we will acknowledge questions coming from our audience. First question will be coming from Ms. Cristel Joynigo, followed by Ms. Naila Tijo and Ms. Charlie Lazado.
Garigao from opposition side. Miss Garigao, why martial law is not the ultimate solution to draw visitors or foreign visitors in the country? Thank you for the challenging question, Mr. Staff. Martial law is not the solution. It affects the international image of Philippines in terms of promoting our tourist spots and in terms of our foreign visitors. Remember, if we talk about martial law, it talks about war. This question is for Ms. Gandon from opposition side. What would be your proposal to establish camaraderie between Muslims and Christians even without martial law? Thank you for the question, Ms. Encho. So, my proposal would be, we should have accepted the current steps to different religions and culture, and to implement this our government in different religions, different religions, so that martial law will not be a hindrance to promote peace. Thank you. This is for me. Is martial law the only way to have good peace? Yes. Why not? It is not just a simple type of conflict that can be solved with a simple pistol. You know, 100 of people died because of it. By declaring this, our country wouldn't be insulted with other countries in terms of security and control. This time, we will hear the last remarks from the two teams. Proposition team will be led by Ms. Christine Joy Matador, while the opposition team will be led by April Rose Izon. Therefore, martial law imposition here in Mindanao is right. Because through martial law, our country will secure. We can gain trust and confidence to our investors. The control and limitations are there. It has a good impact of having a good image to another countries because it avoids terrorism and rebellion. Through martial law, it helps to change the stand of the terrorists in their culture and beliefs to have a fair and unbiased image. And it ensures the national security of our nation. It promotes human rights and our people, especially the millions of populations. That's why we are yes for martial law.
Thank you, Ms. Bugador. After a hard topic and mind-boggling debate, on behalf of my opposition team, we are still against with the martial law. Why? Because martial law has a big negative impact to us and to the affected people. In terms of safety and security, to the economic stability of our country. By the set-aside education of our young Maranao brother and sister, disturbance and dismiss of culture and religion, the international image of our country to the possible tourists and investors, and most of all, the abuse of human rights, and the fact that the martial law still goes on and already imposed, how long these affected people will suffer and live miserable by this martial law.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have witnessed the final clash of minds from our debaters. I'm sure that you have a good grasp of which team displays greatest convincing prowess. So why don't we give them a resounding applause for their efforts to deliver an amazing performance. This time, may we hear a feedback from our teachers and the principal.
Okay, good morning everyone, especially to Sir Benden, who is behind of this classroom debate. And also, I would like to acknowledge everybody at the back who are busy listening, busy watching their cell phones. I know that you are also taking your video. the presence of our two brilliant judges, to our excellent and eloquent speakers from two sides, the affirmative and the negative sides, or the proposition and the opposition sides. Actually, I am amazed of your performance today because you really express yourselves, especially your stand about the proposition, the Declaration of Martial Law in Mindanao by President Rodrigo Duterte. I also appreciate the way you interpret, the way you cross-examine different speakers. And I do hope that you can improve more on that. Because I don't believe that your knowledge and skills in speaking and critical thinking is just that level only. I do believe that you can improve more and you can be the best speaker someday. Congratulations to everyone and to our speakers. I do hope that you have taken something, some ideas, techniques, and I do believe that you appreciated also our speakers. To all of us, good day.
Is the result of our debate. But first of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the speakers who have toiled night and day for the mind-boggling challenge of this I have given to you. Congratulations. And for all the spectators, this serves as your learning experience towards our speakers. And of course, to the teachers and the adjudicators of this class debate, thank you for your presence and your support. And of course, to our ever-dynamic and supportive school principal, Sir Olino, sir. Thank you. And of course, everything, all of this experience, diba? What we mean is, experience is the best teacher. So you don't need to imagine everything, but you need to experience everything in order to learn and be a lifelong learner. Isn't it? Do you agree with me? Very good. So this time, may I announce or proclaim the best debater for this class debate goes to, from the proposition side, Miss Christine Joy Bogador. The best speaker coming from the opposition side, Miss April Rose Siba. And who will be the winner for the class debate? Who had the most strengths, diba, for this debate? Goes to the opposition. Okay, so once again, let us show your brotherhood and sportsmanship by shaking your hands. Okay. Thank you very much, and good day, everyone.
Quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo.
Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito. Quiero beber algo, pero quiero ser tu ritmo. Quiero enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos. Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Pasito a pasito, suave, suavecito, nos vamos pegando. Poquito a poquito.